Oh! What do you say we peel some plastic?
Let's.
Oh my goodness gracious, this is a piece of plastic. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you're ready for it, Kirk. So LG sent over this new display, the 48C10. It's a 10, it's a Roman, don't call it X, or call it whatever you want to call it. The fact is, this display got me thinking, it got the imagination going about some kind of an ultimate large-scale setup, all-in-one TV/monitor that could do it all. And I know you're thinking, that's sort of crazy, Lou. What are you talking about? That's 48 inches. That's big for a computer monitor. Well, for years, I was using a 42-inch LG monitor. The problem with it, well, it wasn't really a problem. It worked great. I like having a really big monitor. The difference here is that this one has OLED. You get the real black color. As they say it, OLEDs individually light pixels, and so they can turn off completely, right? So you can get that really pitch black look. So it's great as a TV, but most people with TVs, they might go larger than 48. You might go 55, 65. But those are impossible as monitors. So I was thinking this 48 could be a kind of cool little sweet spot there. You could do some gaming, some productivity. Kirk may even like to use something like this for the color correction because the OLEDs are so nice to look at from a color perspective. I got a bunch of stuff on the desk here to try to create a kind of makeshift desktop setup, kind of an ultimate student setup. Now I realize the price tag associated with this, but it's an ultimate idea, so we can just have a little bit of fun with it. So we start with the OLED display. I've got a laptop from a recent video that I'm going to use as sort of the brain for this particular setup. It has a GPU built into it. I believe it's a 2070. It might be a 2080. I think it comes in either flavor. And then I have a keyboard and a mouse, and I even have a PlayStation 4, although this display would be a perfect fit for the PlayStation 5 coming out soon. Of course, native 4K gaming, higher frame rates, all the rest of it. I see the G-Sync logo on the box. Again, with your NVIDIA graphics cards, it's going to pair up really well, but it's also got a bunch of smart TV stuff built in with your Netflix and Disney Plus and everything else. And if you're pumping in older formats or lower resolution formats, 1080p, then you have the new processor in there as well to upscale to 4K. That's plenty of pixels. So this is going to be fun. We're going to get it all connected and maybe have a sort of an ultimate setup that I'm not going to want to leave. Maybe I'll sit right here. I don't know. It's quite possible. I might put a chair. I might be sitting. It's quite possible. So I'm going to move some things. Let's crack into it. Let's just... First things first, we have the stand. So this is the base with a little bit, what looks like a little bit of cable management right there. Now the other reason why I think this makes a lot of sense as a kind of all-in-one multimedia display, maybe you only have one display in your apartment and you want it to do everything, is because it apparently has low input lag as well for gaming, which a lot of TVs don't have great game modes, and you suffer inside the game with the feedback from a controller or even a keyboard and mouse. This one, on the other hand, can do it well. Many accessories and cables, paperwork. The Magic controller, which I've shown you in the past, allows you to interact with a mouse-like cursor from a distance. And then we have a breakout cable here for an analog input, which I will never use. Screws for the mounting of the base.
Batteries.
Good old-fashioned double A's. Metal. Ooh. Oh, baby, that is thin.
Wow.
I don't know. Oh, wait, that's not going to fit in there. as a TV, you're like, all right, I've seen it before. But as a monitor, wow. Then you get a bit fired up, don't you? Imagine that on your desk. OLED colors, OLED contrast on the desk. Low input lag, works. Tons of inputs, by the way. I should just show you. HDMI, 4K, 120 hertz. So you heard what I was saying about the next gen consoles. You could take advantage. Or even if we're talking about output from a PC, you could take advantage. Those are the new style HDMI ports. That's what you're looking for. Actually, there's 3 of them here. There's another one over here, 4K 120 hertz. That's 4 separate 4K 120 hertz inputs. I'll take it. Now you also have USB as well. 2 USBs here, 1 USB over here. And then you have an Ethernet jack. You have the breakout for the analog AV, and you have optical digital audio out, which you may or may not want to utilize. And as mentioned, there's kind of a look to it on the desk. Ha! Oh! What do you say we peel some plastic?
Let's.
Oh my goodness gracious, this is a piece of plastic. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you're ready for it, Kirk. Oh, we got Willie Doo from all the way over there. We got Willie Doo all the way over there. He saw the peel. Couldn't help himself. Big, huge smile on his face.
It's an oddly silent.
Oh, at the beginning, there was like a bit of a bubbly to it. And then at the very end, there was a boom, 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 boom. One of the ones where if you recorded it and then you played it back much louder, it would be like the lowering of an aircraft in Star Wars or something. Boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm talking about?
Somehow I do.
Yeah. I did pick up some other things before we look at this glorious display, which I'm sure is going to be glorious. I got a keyboard and a mouse for our portable setup. You see, we're going to have the laptop because it's powerful enough from the recent video. Like I said, with the 2070 graphics, to power all this stuff, no problem. But then we can pop out the power cable and, I don't know, do people go to class these days? Maybe they need to take the laptop to go. And then you power and then you got the console. But if you're using the laptop in a docked sort of status, you may want the keyboard mouse setup for the glorious display. So I picked up a couple recent arrivals. The Keychron K1, it's a very slim and sleek mechanical keyboard. Low profile switches, 48% thinner. In fact, low profile mechanical switches makes this the world's thinnest mechanical keyboard. Ladies and gentlemen, world's thinnest mechanical keyboard. This is the world's thinnest mechanical keyboard on a laptop. Of course we need to have the world's thinnest mechanical keyboard not on a laptop to go with the world's thinnest mechanical keyboard laptop. It's always a good sign when you first take it out and it's cold to the touch. Then you know you're dealing with the real deal materials. Very factory fresh. USB Type-C 5V 1 amp. We have Bluetooth off or cable, so you can use it wireless or wired. Windows, Android, Mac, or iOS. The quick brown, ooh, fox. It's a quick brown fox, I'll tell you what. And then, to also bring to the party, this guy arrived, the Zephyr gaming mouse. It's a very lightweight, that's the trend these days, Kirk. I don't know if you knew this.
I knew that.
No, you didn't know that.
No, I knew that one.
Not to the extent. It's about the lightweight mouse, so you're flying in the games. 16,000 DPI, physical cooling system, 68 grams, 50 million clicks, and a geometric shell. Very nice. White. This is the white version in front of us right here. Look at how cool that thing looks. Once again, a kind of braided cable to go with it. We'll put that. Look at us. Do we have a? Are we getting a setup? Is there a setup happening? I believe.
This one have the.
It does. It has active cooling. That's right. Yeah, look at that. That's a fan in there because you get hot. The long sessions, the gaming, or maybe the game streaming, and the hand is planted on the mouse, or maybe it's just an extended video editing session, or maybe you're browsing around and you got to cool down the hand. It's getting gross in there. That is cool. Well, that's cool. Because it's cool. Power, and why not chuck the PlayStation in there too? Oh, there we go. You jump over to the laptop and I don't know, maybe you're getting the work done. Look at the backlight, by the way, on the keyboard. That's a nice touch. We're using it wired right now. It does work wireless. And look at the RGB happening. And the cooling on the hand as well. So we're making moves right now. All right. We talked about this in a previous video, how the upscaling uses AI to figure out what exactly it's upscaling. In this case, they show it off with a human face, a portrait. I mean, I have fed lower resolution content into these displays, and well, first of all, just being on OLED in the first place is a huge jump, and then having some type of upscaling certainly helps. Look at this. All right, so first up, I want to jump into settings real quick. You know, I was talking about input lag and using this as a display and not necessarily a TV, well, a TV as well as a display. And so if you go into the picture modes, you'll see you have vivid, standard, APS, cinema, sports, game, HDR effect. There's a filmmaker mode. Kirk, jeez, man, keep it together.
It's my new setup.
Filmmaker mode. Don't get carried away, Kirk. What do they say about it? Let's click on it. Oh, it goes a little more subdued. Anyway, game is what you want for what we're doing because it's going to have the lowest input lag, which is important not just for the purpose of gaming, but also just as an everyday monitor. You want your mouse input to be, very rapid and very responsive. Look at me! Would you believe it? Would you believe it? 4K. Grease. Speakers are pretty loud too. Holy OLED! Holy OLED! Something about having it on your desk as opposed to as a TV, you kind of almost appreciate it more since you sit closer to it. And I mean, even as a reference point, when you put it against the laptop, now the laptop display is a gaming display. It has a whole different priority set. Obviously, I think it's 240 hertz display over there. I mean, to appreciate colors and contrast, to watch video, this is a 4K 60 video on YouTube. And it's just, I mean, it's a different level. These inputs are 120 hertz capable. So if you could output it, like on those next gen consoles, you could even get a step better, that 120 FPS that everybody's talking about. But gaming, productivity, browsing the web, as you can tell, very slick. This is relaxation mode right here. Now, I could see this display being popular for people just on the multimedia front. I could also see this display being popular for those that do the day trading with the stocks. You want to have something big, you're squinting, the eyebrow muscles, it's all tight. Now, I have super crystal clear text because of OLED. Like, the contrast is just incredible. As you can see over here, look at me, I'm reading comments in a language I don't even understand. You still have all of the TV's capabilities. So if I wanted to one touch head into Netflix with the native 4K available through the TV, well, that's going to be there as well. It has a Prime Video button. It has voice input, so you could still use it as a TV with separate inputs. You could have a cable box if you wanted as well, obviously. And then, of course, you could hook up a game console, as I have here. Now, this is a PlayStation 4, so we're going to check out the upscaling capabilities, and we're going to play a classic right now. So let me go ahead and boot this up. And just like that, it knew it was a game. It went to the game mode. Just installed the classic remastered Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 Plus 2. We were just talking about what a classic the game was, but also the soundtrack. Now, unfortunately, I can't share the soundtrack with you, as you're aware, here on YouTube. The speakers, that's another thing I didn't even think about. If you have a setup like this, the speakers on a larger format display are typically a lot better than what you would have on a computer monitor. But that's a serious point. You have the advantage of having speakers that are pretty powerful hidden away in the base of the television.
Best Rage Against the Machine song.
Good Lord. I was a kid when I listened to Rage Against the Machine, so...
So what was your favorite?
Bulls on Parade. Ask Jack, he agrees, he knows. This kind of illustrates the capability of OLED actually looking at this. So we're setting up the HDR black, HDR white, and I mean the ability to discern the contrast difference there, and like, I mean, just looking at the display, the black along the top there. Now keep in mind, this is a remastered game, but that is not even a PlayStation 4 Pro. That's a regular PlayStation 4, so we're fully in upscaling land right now. Woo! Oh, baby! This is bringing back the memories right now. That's my concept, all right? That's my concept for a setup. That's my pitch for a large format display as a kind of all-in-one display that can work surprisingly well as a computer monitor. Now, the key characteristic here is that when you do boot into Netflix or you do switch back to your computer input to watch video or something, you get all the advantages of OLED. And this also is true for color correction. You saw they have the filmmaker mode in there. If you're a video editor with the eye strain, squinting at a smaller display, this gives you a certain comfort level. It's not going to be for everyone, but for me, I've always been a fan of an enormous computer monitor. This would be the biggest that I've sat in front of, and it is surprisingly feasible on a table with enough depth. From here, I'm telling you, man, there's a certain image quality to OLED that just you're not getting it elsewhere, and unfortunately most people haven't been able to enjoy it on the computer, which is where you spend a tremendous amount of your time. It's been kind of relegated to the TV setup, which for me I end up using less than I would like comparative to the amount of time I have to sit in front of a computer. So this gives you that in a format that actually makes sense in a setup like this. Now if you have a dorm room or a small apartment and you don't necessarily have space for a separate TV, this could be a solution for you for an all-in-one do it all type of setup. And even if you had a couch, I mean, you could just have a couch over maybe a few feet back and you could go there and relax when you put the movie on or whatever it is. So shout out to LG for sponsoring this video. They're doing a virtual event right now so people can have the IFA experience virtually from the comfort of their own home. Obviously, the event looking a little bit different this year than it has in the past. They actually set up this, it's almost like a game. I'm approaching the convention center virtually. Now, I've been here before in the past, so I can kind of speak to the... I can kind of speak to the authenticity here. You walk through, and this is LG's installation. They've done real-world installations like this in the past using OLED displays to create these kind of crazy shapes and environments. They've done the same at Vegas for CES many times, and they look like this in real life, but this year it's a little tougher to execute this kind of thing. So we have the virtual version of it. So you start out in the main installation and then you go into the booth and you look around. I've been to so many trade shows. This is actually what it's like. And they have the various products that they're promoting around the different sections. NanoCell 8K, which we've shown off in a previous video. Of course, the OLED stuff all the way up to 8K, 88 inches now. I'm having fun. I'm virtually exploring right now. Cool. All right. Yes. So anyway, you can try it yourself. Cool stuff. I like this setup. You'll probably like it too if you ever put something like this together yourself. Once again, that's the 48 CX10. I think it's a sleeper pick as an all-in-one multimedia setup display. I think more people can experience OLED more often by putting it on the desk and connecting all your peripherals to it. It can kind of do everything.